But Rena, again, I just want to get at your experiences in Sweden, because you did actually go back for this final piece. And again, this is a man and a family who had become, in some ways, victimized is a loaded word, but he had become the subject of a lot of tabloid journalism in Sweden, and including from photographers sort of surreptitiously taking pictures of him in Frankfurt on the way back. Again, as you arrived in Sweden and you were allowed access at a time that clearly his relationship with the local press is a little bit difficult. Tell me how you were able to sort of rekindle that relationship and shoot the stuff you did, which is obviously less sort of news and impactful than the first piece, but still has that incredibly evocative of him even just sort of playing a guitar in his apartment by himself, and it really kind of brings that story home. How were you able to sort of rekindle that relationship at a time that he had clearly had a pretty difficult time with photographers in Sweden?
I think from the outset in the story, as also Isabel mentioned, we've positioned ourselves in a very different way. We weren't sensational. We weren't there for a scoop. We were there to tell a human story from the very beginning. We followed him from the very, very first day all the way to the last, trip. We were on the airplane with him and the kids going back home. We were there when the kids were given to the social services, and then we went back. And I think in a way, because we've built that relationship over a course of several months and several trips, and being there with him, being in the room when he has reunited with the kids and brought them back to Erbil, waiting for him for a week to get permission to leave Erbil, throughout the entire journey, pretty much. I think in that time, we were the only ones who had that access, and we were the only ones who've built that relationship, which was, very close and trusting. And it wasn't something that, when I went back to Sweden, it was almost like seeing a friend, and I chat with him. Isabel spoke to him 2 weeks ago. We also chat, so we've really built a rapport. And I think because we were not in a position of just journalists running after a quick story, which could do more damage than good to his efforts, because we stuck with him from the very beginning. I think it wasn't something he was ready to jeopardize or wanted to jeopardize. I think he accepted us back with arms, outstretched, and we were the only ones pretty much who were able to, to access him, and who he allowed to photograph children with faces. So it was a longer relationship.